Hi, I'm Claire Orange, the co-director of Best Programs for Kids and a child and family therapist. And I want to talk to you about your older child, and maybe you have your older child sitting with you, about unrest and what that means. And I want to talk to you about my personal experience of unrest and coming out of that. Political unrest in my country of origin, which was Zimbabwe, Rhodesia as it was, when I left. And certainly, I think there's a lot that we need to know within our family life and think about and direct our thinking towards. So if you are sitting there with your young person, maybe jot down some things that you can talk about afterwards. So I think what we need to remember with unrest is, like with all things in life, it does pass. And situations do change, and unrest is part of human existence. It's been part of human existence since the beginning of recorded history. We have lots of recorded unrest, and while it might be quite catastrophic in your community and maybe even in your home life and your family life right now, historically we know that these things also do have a period of time that they play out over, and then they pass. I think we need to focus in our family life, especially when we're adults and young adults as well, is thinking about all the other aspects of life that we need to give our time and attention to. So even there might be political unrest or unrest around a tragedy in your community, or a natural disaster in your community. If you become fixated on it and you read a lot about it and you set yourself the task to listen about it and get into all the details, you know what? It fills up a very big part of your thinking in your brain. So our human brains are all about survival, and survival means feeling safe. When a brain feels safe, then it opens itself up to do our higher level processing. And higher level processing is applying logic, remembering, focusing and attending, planning, problem solving, being creative, being curious. Now, if you're feeling unsafe, the chances are that your focus is going to come right in like this. You're going to become hyper-focused because you're going to find that point of danger and you're going to focus on it exclusively. So when this is happening in your community, what you have to continually remind yourself is that there's a lot of world out there, and there's a lot of hope, and there's a lot of people, and that you need to keep your focus broad and not allow your brain to become so consumed by what's happening in your corner of the world that you fail to see that actually time changes and there is hope. There's a lot of beauty in humans, even though you might not be able to see it in your context right now. I think you also need to remember for our adults and young people is that you're part of a global community. You've got people around the globe watching in with their hearts, feeling and loving and being compassionate about your circumstance. That while that doesn't change what's happening for you on a day-to-day basis, you're not alone with it, that you have a global community of concern as well. So what are my suggestions in a nutshell? If you're a young person or the parent of a young person, is keep up your other interests. Make sure that you try and do the things that bring you joy. So it might be your after school activities if you're safe. Go and do them. Go and keep up what happens. Go to school. If you're safe there, go to school. Try not to become hyper-focused on all the things that are going wrong. Think about the pockets of your life that are going right and what you can do to maximise those and to really lean into them and celebrate them. So business as usual, as much as possible, keep to a routine, get up when you did, go to sleep when you do, keep your routine, do your things that bring you joy, fill your life as much as possible with those, don't let them go and become focused on, all the negativity and really let that eat your brain. Good sleep, obviously very essential for every human being. So if you have got into watching the unrest that's around you, and turn that stuff off, give your brain a break at night time, especially before bedtime. So you need about 90 minutes before bedtime without any sort of emotional distress for your brain to be able to settle and relax into sleep. And of course, if you're very, very worried about what's happening, or you find that the thoughts that are coming to you are very intrusive about the unrest in your community and how worried you're feeling about them, and it might not be worry, it might be anger. Whatever those feelings are, if they're intrusive, if you find your brain just sort of cycling back to them and you're busy writing something or doing something and the thought keeps popping into your head and distracting you, it's actually time to go and get some help. It's time to reach out and get some help for someone to help your brain to find that safe again, so that you can do those things that bring you joy, because that's what sustains and nourishes your brain. So wherever you are in the world and wherever your family is in the world, know that you have a global community of support, that what's happening in your community, even though it's dire right now and there's that unrest right now, it will pass. And what helps you to survive, thrive, and to even flourish, and that's possibly weird to say when there's a lot of unrest in your community, but what does help is to go about business as usual. Make sure that you do the things that help you to stay well and healthy, that bring you joy and fill you with hope. And then if you are noticing that intrusion, please go and get help, talk to someone, and remember that there's beyond your community, there's a whole bunch of people out there in the world you can access as well, to have conversations with, to help you to settle yourself and your brain. So business as usual in your families. Stay safe and do the things as families that you always do, so that you can have some sort of, normality in amongst all of the chaos and whatever's happening in your corner of the world. So I hope that helps, and I wish you all the best wherever you are in the world.